Assault case get their first day in court. Our Colleen Marshall breaks down what happened at today's conference. That's next.
Now, breaking news from NBC4.
Dave, thank you. All right, now let's go back to what we were describing earlier. We'll get to our breaking news in just a few minutes. After 5 long years, plaintiffs in the Ohio State University Strauss sexual assault case finally got their first day in court. District Court Judge Michael Watson held the first status conference since the U.S. Supreme Court rejected an Ohio State bid to end this case because of the statute of limitations. Our Colleen Marshall was in the courtroom and tells us Ohio State is not ready to give up this fight. Colleen?
No, Jared. In fact, the university is, after 5 years of asserting the statute of limitations argument as their only defense in this case, making it clear today that the university is trying to come up with other defenses to assert to stop these plaintiffs in their tracks. There are more than 300 cases still pending. The judge wants the attorneys to let him know within a week exactly how many cases are still active. The plaintiffs argue the university turned a blind eye over a 20-year period as their doctor molested, even drugged and raped male students. For 5 years, OSU argued the plaintiffs simply waited too long to present their claims and that the cases were barred by the statute of limitations. But despite paying millions of dollars for an investigation that proved Dr. Strauss assaulted students, we learned today Ohio State is now considering other defenses. An attorney for the plaintiff says Ohio State is apparently ready to launch a fight over the Title IX claims relating to deliberate indifference.
Even though the Perkins-Coie report that did the independent investigation of OSU and found them to have known all of this was going on during that time frame, they don't want to admit to that. So we're going to have to go through the steps to prove it.
And don't you think at this point their own investigation showed that coaches knew, athletic directors knew, administrators knew, trainers knew, doctors knew? How can they argue against knowledge?
You're going to have to ask the university lawyers that question, because that is somewhat perplexing. Their own investigation that they paid millions of dollars for revealed that information. We do this in litigation. It's sometimes very perplexing why they won't admit what they already know is true.
And I did ask questions of the attorneys for OSU. They did not want to answer. Judge Watson assured the plaintiffs today he realizes how long they've been waiting to hear the case. He says it's his responsibility to be aggressive to keep the case moving. Attorney Scott Smith tells me he would like to see a trial within a year, but he realizes there's much work to be done and that might not be practical. Jared?
All right, Colleen, thank you.